Germany doesn't fit in a box, and honestly, that's what makes it fascinating. This is a country where fairy tale castles sit next to underground techno-temples that never close. Where half-timbered medieval towns frozen in time exist an hour from cities pushing the edge of modern architecture and design. Where alpine peaks bite cold and clean, while river valleys wind so romantically, they literally inspired the Romantic art movement. Most travelers hit Munich's beer halls, snap a photo at Brandenburg Gate, maybe see Neuschwanstein if they're feeling ambitious, and call it done. But you're not most travelers. You clicked on this video because you want the Germany that exists beyond the surface, the one that locals know and tourists miss. So, before we dive deep into 20 spots that'll completely change how you see this country, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button for Passport Unfolded. We're building a community of travelers who want substance over selfies, and we're about to take you way beyond the lederhosen stereotypes and into the real heart of what makes Germany unforgettable. Trust me, you'll want to save this one. Here's some stuff about Germany they don't teach you in school. This country invented the printing press, the automobile, and the MP3. Basically everything that made modern life possible. Germans drink more beer per capita than almost anyone except Czechs. But they're also obsessed with sparkling water to the point where asking for still water in a restaurant gets you judged. There are over 20,000 castles scattered across the country, which is more castles per square mile than anywhere else in Europe. The Autobahn has no speed limit on about 70% of its length, but Germans will still flash their lights at you if you're going too slow in the left lane. Germany has more bread varieties than any other country, over 300 types. And they take it so seriously, there's an actual bread register. The Christmas tree tradition started here, along with gingerbread houses and advent calendars. And despite the stereotype about German efficiency, Berlin's new airport took 14 years to build and opened 9 years late, so they're human after all. The Brandenburg Gate witnessed Napoleon, Hitler, and the wall coming down. Go early before tour groups swarm, then head to Museum Island where 5 world-class museums cluster on one island in the Spree. The Pergamon holds ancient gates hauled from the Middle East. The Neuss Museum has Nefertiti's bust. Smaller than expected, more beautiful than photos, and no photography allowed, so you'll actually have to look. Best currywurst? Knopke's Imbiss under the U-Bahn tracks in Prenzlauer Berg. This isn't gourmet, it's post-war comfort food drowning in curry ketchup, and it's perfect. Stay in Mitte or Kreuzberg where neighborhoods still have edge and coffee shops haven't been completely gentrified. Norman Foster's glass dome on the Reichstag is transparent government made literal. Book your free visit weeks ahead and go for sunset when light pours through while politicians debate below your feet. The building's dark history, the 1933 fire Hitler exploited, Russian graffiti still preserved inside, is explained by audio guides worth your time. Walk to the Holocaust Memorial after, those concrete slabs designed to disorient. Then hit Kreuzberg for doner at Mustafa's Gemüsekebab, where the line is ridiculous but roasted vegetables and herb yogurt justify the wait. Berlin's bar scene? Grab cheap beer from a Spatkauf and drink it on the street like everyone else. That's how Berlin works. Marienplatz is Munich's heart, where the Glockenspiel performs at 11, while locals ignore it and tourists stare upward. Viktualienmarkt nearby is the real attraction. Bavarian cheese, cured meats, beer gardens where you can drink a Maas and eat a Botsta. That addictive beer-cheese spread. Hofbräuhaus is touristy but genuinely fun. Oompa bands, communal tables, Liedersteins consumed at alarming speeds. For less tourist chaos, explore Glockenbachviertel, where independent shops outnumber chains. Don't skip Englischer Garten, one of the world's largest urban parks, where locals surf a standing wave in the Isar River right in the middle of the city. Which is surreal and very Munich. This is the castle that inspired Disney's logo, built by Ludwig II, who was either genius or mad, depending on the storyteller. Book tickets online weeks ahead. Walk-up slots are limited. Hike uphill rather than taking the bus because you'll want photos from Marienbrücke, the bridge offering that iconic view with Alps behind. The exterior beats the interior because Ludwig died before finishing. Village of Füssen below has decent Bavarian restaurants where schnitzel comes pounded thin and Käsespätzle drowns in cheese. Stay overnight because day trippers clog everything. Hohenschwangau Castle next door is less crowded and arguably more interesting, because people actually live there instead of just dreaming about Wagner operas. Rothenburg is so perfectly preserved it feels like a movie set, which is why Rick Steves fans descend hard. Visit off-season or stay overnight when day trippers leave. Walk the medieval walls circling the town, about an hour for the full perimeter with absurd views over red-tiled roofs. The Ploenline corner is the most photographed spot, beautiful even with 50 other people. Night Watchman's Tour sounds gimmicky, but it's entertaining. Guide in period costume telling medieval crime stories. Schneeballen pastries are deep-fried dough bombs covered in chocolate that taste better than they should. Stay inside the walls and wake early to walk empty streets before Munich buses arrive. That's when Rothenburg earns its reputation. Heidelberg has castle ruins looming over the Neckar, Germany's oldest university and Romantic movement pedigree. The Altstadt is touristy but charming. Baroque buildings painted pastel, student bars flowing since the 1600s. Heidelberg Castle, reached by funicular, has been partially ruined since lightning struck in the 18th century, and ruins are more atmospheric than any restoration. The Great Vat in the cellar held 58,000 gallons of wine. Philosopher's Walk across the river offers best views, especially at sunset when sandstone glows orange. Student pubs like Zum Roten Ochsen serve generations of rowdy university kids. For quiet, bike the Neckar Valley where half-timbered villages cluster around churches and nobody performs for tourists. Twin Gothic spires took 6 centuries to complete and somehow survived World War II bombing that leveled the city around them. Climbing 500 tower steps is lung-busting, but worth it for Rhine views. Cathedral Treasury holds medieval reliquaries, and the Shrine of the Three Kings supposedly contains biblical magi bones that drew medieval pilgrims across Europe. Cross Hohenzollern Bridge, where lovers attach padlocks. Explore Belgian Quarter for less touristy vibes. Cologne's beer culture is distinct. Kolsch comes in small glasses. Waiters replace without asking until you put a coaster on top. Local brewhouses like Früh serve Himmel und Eid. Black pudding with mashed potatoes and applesauce that sounds weird, tastes amazing. This glass concert hall rises from an old warehouse on the Elbe, and the plaza viewing platform is free with 360 views over harbor and city. If you can get performance tickets, acoustics are world-class. Hamburg's harbor is one of Europe's largest. Boat tours past container ships show the city's maritime DNA. Speicherstadt Warehouse District has red brick buildings on water pilings, now housing museums and miniature Wonderland model railway that's weirdly captivating. Reeperbahn is Hamburg's infamous red light district, where Beatles played marathon sets when they were nobody. Fish sandwiches at Fischmarkt Sunday Market or Hamburg Institution. Fresh herring on a roll at 8 in the morning is peak local behavior. St. Pauli neighborhood defines Hamburg's nightlife edge. Dresden was obliterated in World War II firebombing, and the rebuilt city shows painstaking reconstruction. Frauenkirche took 50 years to rebuild, and contrast between blackened war-damaged stones and new white limestone tells the story visually. Zwinger Palace is Baroque excess. Sculptures, fountains, galleries including old masters with Raphael's Sistine Madonna. Semperoper Opera House is one of the world's most beautiful theaters with affordable performances if you book ahead. Bruhl's Terrace along the Elbe is called Balcony of Europe. Gorgeous at sunset when river reflects city lights. Strieselmarkt Christmas Market is Germany's oldest with authentic Stollen. Neustadt across the river is where young Dresden lives. Street art, independent cafes, bars and courtyards, creative, unpretentious vibe. Dense evergreen forests, cuckoo clocks, and black forest cake in villages where farmhouse roofs sweep almost to the ground. Triberg has Germany's highest waterfalls. Hike up through forest for about an hour as water crashes over 7 stages. Town is cuckoo clock central with artisan workshops, tourist kitsch over the top but charming. For cake, find traditional konditorei, where Black Forest cake has real Kirsch-soaked cherries and fresh whipped cream. Schwarzwald Hochstrasse Scenic Drive winds through mountains past viewpoints and villages, auditioning for Sound of Music. Baden-Baden on northern edge is Spa Town, where Romans bathed 2 millennia ago. Still soak in thermal waters at Friedrichsbad. Feldberg area trails range from easy walks to serious alpine hiking. This lake sits where Germany, Austria, and Switzerland meet. Water so blue, Alps so close, you're in a tourism brochure. Lindau occupies an island with harbor guarded by Bavarian lion and lighthouse. Altstadt, all pastel buildings and lakefront cafes. Meersburg has medieval castle and vineyards, producing wines Germans drink before you hear about them. Zeppelin Museum in Friedrichshafen shows massive airship history with full-scale Hindenburg passenger reconstruction. Mainau Island is the Flower Island with Baroque palace and gardens blooming year-round. Lakes warm enough for swimming May to September. Renting bikes to circle the lake is a popular multi-day trip through 3 countries. Freshwater fish, especially Felchen, is excellent simply grilled with butter and herbs. Old Town, heavily reconstructed after war but rebuilt half-timbered houses and fortress walls capture medieval atmosphere. Kaiserberg fortress towers over city from rocky outcrop with views showing medieval layout. Hauptmarkt hosts Christmas market, but year-round, it's beautiful with Schöner Brunnen Fountain and Frauenkirche. Dark history includes Nazi rallies and war crimes trials. Documentation Center at former rally grounds doesn't shy from explaining how the city became propaganda central. Albrecht Dürer's house is preserved as museum. Nuremberg bratwurst is protected by law. Small, thin sausages grilled over beechwood, served with sauerkraut. Traditional restaurants serve Franconian Schäufele, roasted pork shoulder crispy outside, tender inside. Lebkuchen gingerbread sold year-round in shops, baking it for generations. Germany's largest island in the Baltic Sea, chalk cliffs at Yasmin National Park are showpiece. Bright white cliffs rising from turquoise water with beech forests on top. Königstuhl Viewpoint is most famous. Caspar David Friedrich painted it capturing sublime nature's power. Hiking trail along cliff edge is spectacular but requires care because erosion causes collapses. Beaches below rocky but beautiful, water cold, even summer. Binz is main resort town. Belle Epoque architecture painted white with elaborate balconies and pier stretching into sea. Island has slower pace. Cycling is best way to explore past forests, fishing villages, lighthouses. Smoked fish from harbors essential. Mackerel and eel smoked over beechwood, eaten with black bread. Massive socialist-era resort buildings stand as concrete reminders. Rhine Valley between Koblenz and Mainz has 40-plus fortresses perched on hills above river, built by robber barons charging river tolls. Take train along West Bank or boat cruise. Berg Eltz, hidden inside valley, looks exactly like fairy tale castle should. Marksburg is only hilltop castle never destroyed. Guided tours show medieval toilets and kitchens alongside armory. Lorelei Rock is where legend says siren lured sailors to death. Viewpoint offers dramatic river bends. Valley is prime wine country. Riesling grown on steep slopes requiring hand harvesting. Wine villages like Bacharach have taverns for tasting local wines with river views. September-October is harvest season. Best time when vines turn golden and crowds thin. RHINE and Flames festivals feature fireworks reflected in water. Moselle wines tighter than RHINE. COCHEM, the valley's prettiest town with REICHSTAG Castle, looming over half-timbered houses and vineyards, climbing impossibly steep slopes. Castle rebuilt in neo-Gothic style. Views from ramparts over rivers' hairpin bends are stunning. Moselle Riesling is lighter, more delicate than RHINE with slight spritz. Wine villages between COCHEM and Bernkastel-Kues have tasting rooms for wines that never leave Germany. Beilstein, called Sleeping Beauty of Moselle, tiny village with cobbled streets where locals outnumber tourists. Cycling the valley is popular, flat paths following riverbank. Load bikes onto boats between towns if tired. Moselle schnitzel, often topped with Riesling cream sauce. Local trout, excellent simply prepared. Stay in Weingut where you drink owner's wine, wake to vineyard views. Bavarian's southeast corner where mountains rise sharp and dramatic. Hitler's Eagle's Nest? Retreat Now restaurant with alpine panoramas and documentation center explaining history without glorifying. Königssee is real reason to come. Fjord-like lake with clear green water, vertical rock faces, accessible only by electric boat. Boat stops at St. Bartholomew's Baruch, onion-domed church where you can hike waterfalls. Boat captains stop mid-lake to play trumpet. Echo bouncing off mountains is tourist moment that's actually moving. Salzburgwerk salt mine offers underground tours. Slide down wooden chutes, ride across illuminated underground lake. Town charming alpine village way. Painted buildings, mountain backdrops, Bavarian food, hearty enough for serious hiking. Trails range from easy valley walks to challenging climbs. Cable car up Jenner offers best viewpoint without effort. Saxony's cool kid, cheaper and grittier than Dresden, with music pedigree including Bach, Mendelssohn, Wagner. St. Thomas Church is where Bach worked and is buried. Boys' choir still performs his music in services feeling like time travel. City's role in peaceful revolution bringing down Berlin Wall, commemorated including Stasi Museum in old secret police headquarters, chilling and essential. Spinnerei is former cotton mill turned artist studios, one of Germany's most important contemporary art centers. Leipzig's coffeehouse culture legendary? Kaffeebaum, serving coffee since 17-something where Schumann and Liszt drank. Monument to Battle of Nations commemorates Napoleon's defeat. Enormous structure you climb for city views. Nightlife centers on Südvorstadt, where bars fill old buildings, energy young and creative. Leipziger allerlei local vegetable medley traditionally served with crayfish. Berlin's elegant neighbor packed with palaces and gardens, Frederick the Great built escaping court drama. SANSSOUCI Palace is Rococo masterpiece in yellow, with vineyard terraced garden climbing hill. Interior surprisingly intimate. Frederick wanted relaxation, not impression. Rooms smaller and personal. Park enormous with multiple palaces, follies, gardens in different styles. Chinese house, new palace, orangery. Could spend entire day wandering paths discovering buildings. Dutch Quarter has red brick houses built for craftsman Frederick invited, now full of independent shops and cafes. Glienicke Bridge is Bridge of Spies, where East and West exchanged prisoners. Babelsberg Film Studio produced German cinema for over a century, offers studio tours. Day trip from Berlin easy, but staying overnight lets you explore without rushing. Claims to be Germany's oldest city, founded by Romans 2 millennia ago. Porta Nigra is proof. Massive Roman gate from sandstone blocks weathered to black, best preserved Roman gate north of Alps. Walk same passages Roman soldiers guarded. More Roman ruins than anywhere else in Germany. Imperial baths, amphitheater where gladiators fought, Constantine Basilica. Trier Cathedral is Germany's oldest bishop's church incorporating Roman walls. Holds holy robes supposedly worn by Christ, drawing pilgrims during rare displays. Karl Marx's birth house is museum more balanced than expected, examining ideas and influence without propaganda. Moselle flows through town, riverfront lined with wine taverns serving local Riesling. Hauptmarkt is one of Germany's most beautiful squares. Medieval and Renaissance buildings painted bright colors. Feels less touristy, university students keep atmosphere young. Germany doesn't fit stereotypes, and that's genuinely the best part about exploring it. You came expecting orderliness and punctuality. You'll find that, sure. But you'll also discover street art covering entire buildings, regional identities so strong they might as well be different countries, and a willingness to confront dark history that's both rare and deeply admirable. From Baltic Sea beaches, where Germans vacation, to alpine peaks that rival Switzerland, from medieval towns where time stopped centuries ago, to cities like Berlin and Leipzig, pushing creative boundaries. This country rewards every type of traveler. Whether you're into deep history, outdoor adventures, cutting-edge nightlife, or just eating your way through regional cuisines that change every 100 kilometers, Germany delivers. All the spots we covered today with specific timing recommendations, insider tips on avoiding crowds and where to eat like locals instead of tourists, are waiting for you in the video description below. Screenshot it, save it, bookmark it, whatever works, and start building your own route through this endlessly layered country. And if this video got you excited about exploring Germany beyond the obvious hits, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button for Passport Unfolded. We're all about digging beneath the surface and finding the stories, places, and experiences that guidebooks are too lazy to cover. Hit that like button if this was helpful, and drop a comment telling me which spot surprised you most or what we should cover next. Germany's got depth most people never discover, and once you start exploring, you'll realize there's always another layer, another town, another regional specialty, another story waiting. Now go see it for yourself.